Dünya Ekonomik Forumu toplantılarından yayınlarımız devam ediyor. Bu bölümde çok önemli bir ekonomist var yayınımızda. Ken Rogoff'la birlikteyiz. Kendisi Harvard Üniversitesi Ekonomi Profesörü. Mr. Rogoff, thanks for joining our program. It's like a tradition to have an interview with you here.
My pleasure to be here, and it's a nice tradition.
Thank you so much. How many times have you been here?
I'm afraid to say probably 25 times, something like that.
Oh, really? So what is the difference this time, do you think?
Well, obviously the fact Trump is coming is the big deal this time. He's coming for a day and a half, and it's leading to many more people want to come because he's made himself maybe the most powerful leader we've seen in a very, very long time. I don't know how long it'll last. I don't know how fragile it is, but right now everyone wants to negotiate with him, and if they don't want to negotiate with him, he makes them.
Do you think the leaders will find that spirit of dialogue?
Will they find it constructive dialogue? I have no idea.
I mean, this is a team of Davos, that's why I'm asking.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, he wants to cut some deals, but I'm not sure they are the deals that the Europeans want to cut. I mean, he wants Greenland, and I don't think the Europeans are interested in giving him Greenland. So, I mean, I really have no idea what he'll announce. He's a master theatrics, surprise. So, of course, he will do what we don't expect.
So do you expect surprise announcement from him about Powell, Fed, or Greenland?
Certainly Powell Fed is a possibility. This would be a very prominent place to announce who the new Fed chair is. Who knows? On Greenland, I think he made the big announcement on Greenland already, and either there's progress or there's not. I'm not sure we're going to see a big breakthrough there. The Europeans that I speak to are apoplectic about it. They're furious about it. They're much more angry than even when Trump invaded, not Trump, Freudian slip, when Putin invaded Ukraine. They're more angry than that. They feel betrayed. And so, I don't think he's going to get a deal over this week, but who knows?
Yeah, because Trump did lots of things in the past, but do you think this time it's different for European leaders?
I don't think there's anything he's done that's made them angrier than this. This was insulting them. This is belittling them. Now, that said, I actually think there's a plausible case to be made that in 100 years, Greenland will be part of North America, not part of Europe, just as parts of Asia will be part of China. These things aren't forever. If you look at a map, Greenland looks like it's much more in North America than it looks like in Denmark. But in the here and now, if that ever happens, it has to be a deal. It can't just be we're going to invade Denmark, you're going to give it to us, or we're going to send the military in. So we'll see. Trump, is always hard to read. I would say he goes 4 steps forward, 3 steps back, 3 steps sideways. I don't know.
Always surprises. Yeah, you're right. So this is so interesting, the tension between Europe and US. So how will it affect the global economy, the growth? I mean, now the geopolitical risks and the tariff war just combined. It's a very interesting period of time.
Yeah, I mean, we have to look back at 2025, where the effect was less than you could have imagined. We didn't have, not only was growth resilient, markets were kind of stable. After Liberation Day, when he announced the tariffs, markets went crazy. But I think a little bit of it was not the tariffs, but the presentation. It seemed like he was nuts. And here's this person with this blackboard writing these things of numbers that made no sense and announcing it was the new policy. And they're thinking, he's in charge of the free world. He's in charge of everything. But I think they calmed down after that. So the markets were relatively stable. And I think, in my mind, that was the biggest surprise. I don't think we'll see that again. I think in 2026, we're going to see a lot more volatility, maybe a debt crisis somewhere, maybe a stock market crash. Who knows?
You expect this year?
To say expect, I would say there's a 1 in 3 chance that we have a huge stock market correction. On the other hand, there's a 1 in 3 chance that it goes way up. It's very volatile. So I'd at least like to see that reflected in measures of volatility.
Some say that we shall expect also a crisis like 2008. Do you expect such a financial crisis again?
No, I think that's unlikely because there's so much regulation. We could certainly have a crisis where a big insurance or pension funds go bankrupt and it's very hard to work out and it's politically very difficult. But I don't think it's going to spill over into the banking system. So it's a different kind of crisis. There's a lot of private credit out there that's way overvalued, and the insurance companies and the pension funds are holding it. And if there's pressure on U.S. rates, we can see problems. But I don't think it'll be like 2008, 2009. It'll be with pension funds and insurance companies.
Some say that there are bubbles, AI, debt, crypto, three bubbles. Do you agree?
Well, yes and no. It's in the sense that we know that at some point, say the stock price, AI firms is going to collapse. But famously, when Alan Greenspan, who was considered the maestro, he was Fed chair in the late 1990s, and people thought he was a god. He was always right. He said there's irrational exuberance in the stock market. It's too high. It's got to crash. He was reflecting what a Nobel Prize-winning economist, Robert Shiller, had said. They were right, but they were many years too early, and the stock market went up so much before it actually fell that it never fell to the level when they made their announcement. So what I think is likely is we're in a period like that where it's going up at a crazy rate. It will collapse, but that's not saying that you should sell stock. I'm not saying that. I don't know how much more it's going to go up, but I think it's a 1 in 3 chance of a massive collapse.
Okay, for this year, any bubble bursting this year, do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most likely one would be the U.S. stock market for sure, and it will have a much bigger effect than the tech bubble because stocks have gotten more important. It's a larger share of total wealth. I mean, cryptocurrencies are in a sense in a bubble because they have been over deregulated, and it's raised the price. And I think at some point, regulation is going to have to come back, and that'll lower the price a lot. But under Trump, in a way that's not attractive because there's a conflict of interest. His family makes billions off of crypto, and he makes crypto rules that benefit his family. Heavy deregulation at some point, but not this year.
What about dollar and euro? Do you think euro can preserve its value in this environment, in this turmoil between U.S. and Europe as well?
I think the dollar is overvalued, but particularly against the Asian currencies. So, for example, the Chinese currency, the Japanese currency, the Korean currency. Against the euro is not so overvalued. I think the euro is as likely to go up as down.
125, do you expect 120?
It's possible, but it could also go to 105. And what I'm saying is the euro is at sort of a reasonable value. The euro is by the measures I look at, the euro is, I don't want to say equilibrium, but it's not at a conspicuously high or low value. The dollar is very high, the yen is very low.
Okay. What about Turkey? Do you follow Turkey recently?
Well, I do. I mean, it's difficult to understand. Turkey's done very well on its growth, despite having so much instability, probably an overvalued currency also in Turkey. But I think in some ways, Turkey has navigated the global instability very, very well. No one can really afford to alienate Turkey. So the U.S. and Europe are afraid to put sanctions on Turkey. Russia needs to have business with Turkey. The Middle East needs to have business with Turkey. So Turkey's been doing, despite, I would say, erratic macroeconomic policy, at times the Erdogan has kept firing central bankers because they wouldn't lower interest rates, which he somehow thought was raising inflation. But somehow, despite all of that, Turkey's growth has been quite decent.
Mr. Rogoff, what is the biggest risk and opportunity for this year?
Well, I mean, I think the most obvious risk would be the U.S. stock market crashes, and there's so many things built on that. there are a lot of things in the market that are pinned to that. Global consumption is pinned to that. It's obvious also that we have visiting us in Davos on Wednesday, Mr. Trump, who would like to stay in the news, and he's a source of volatility. So far, hasn't really spilled over into the economy, but I wouldn't assume it won't happen.
What is the opportunity then for this year? Do you see an opportunity?
Well, I think emerging markets actually is a very good opportunity because if things don't collapse, if we continue to have a benign environment, resilient growth, emerging markets outperformed last year. I think there's a good chance that emerging markets, perhaps including Turkey, will outperform again this year.
Mr. Rogoff, thanks for making this time and have a nice Davos this year again.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.